What's up? It's your girl Age, and I am here to feed the girls. Also, today we are talking about episode 5 of The Next Prince. So, drop down below, tell me what you thought about episode 5, what you thought about episode 4, and tell me your favorite part and or person. Also, hit that like button for me and subscribe if you have not to join the Axielle Cafe. So, let's hop straight into episode 5. From the last episode, you know that the grandpa thought that Conan and Sharon were getting a little too close, and he decided to try and separate them. Also, all that mess with the Puchungpusut family, who we learned that Conan is a member of because of his mother. We start this episode off with Conan getting ready to meet with the other royals so they can all discuss the rules of the royal competition. All of the dads and kids are there from the different families. Ava was so nice to Conan, but of course Ramil is an absolute asshole to Conan. You know, jealousy. I smell jealousy all the way and anger because someone is mad that he now has competition for the throne. Then, while they were all talking, immediately, Prince Rachada of the Puchungpusut family says, "Oh, so I'm so concerned for Ava." Bullshit. He is just trying to knock out the competition. The king was simply like, if you have an heir, you can participate. Then, the Mananagaran family, Prince Wasin, who has no heir, suggested something like, they should showcase some of their talents as well, not just fencing. Which, to me, I don't even know how the country would put the whole nation in the hands of someone solely based off of fencing competition, but logistics, of course. So to me, his idea, like the skills competition, would actually up the ante and show us why else the family should be on the throne. Are there more efficient ways, like other scholastics, other arts, and community outreach? Yeah, but the skills is a start, the talent, yeah. So the families decided that a quiz, an archery competition, and also the fencing would be the main 3 events in the royal competition. Next scene, we are at the Morpheus University of the Arts, where Sharon is an art teacher, and Conan is blowing up Sharon's phone. He isn't responding to him back at all, and we all know why, because Grandpa was like, y'all don't talk to each other. He wants to respect the king and keep his distance because he knows he has feelings developing for Conan. Side note, all the girls and boys at school, his university students are so mooning over Sharon, okay? I would be too if I were them. And we learned that Sharon's family also owns the university. Who is Sharon's family? And wait, is there a fan page for Sharon and Conan? Like their relationship on the internet? Yo, I surely hope so, because if I was living in that world and Emily, I would definitely be following that page. I like me some celebrity gossip. At the university, we see that this boy named Jay is there and he has a nosebleed. So Prince Kelvin, who Jay doesn't know is a prince, he gave Jay a handkerchief to wipe his nose. What will Jay and Kelvin get into? And who is Jay? And remember, Kelvin, he's the exchange student from Bujar, the country Bujar. So, Kelvin eventually will hang out with Jay because Sharon tells Jay, his student helper, to keep an eye on a new guy, Kelvin. Pause. So, here are the relationships so far in The Next Prince. First, of course, there is Sharon and Conan. Then it's Ava and one of her little girls, Ramil and Peitai. And now there's Kelvin and the mysterious Jay. And I believe that Jay is going to be someone important as well. Am I rooting for all of them? Yeah, except I don't really know how I feel about Ramil and Peitai. And did I mention how beautiful Kelvin and Jay both are as well? Next, Shakri and Karnan are supposed to be preparing for the royal competition, but Karnan is thinking about Sharon. Yo, Karnan be giving Shakri a hard time, and this man is only trying to do his job and, just survive. Karnan said to Shakri, I am not doing anything until you tell me where Sharon is. Girl, he tricks Shakri into telling him where Sharon is, okay? And he also makes him take him to him. He said that's the only thing that will make him do anything else is if he gets to see Sharon. So, next we see Peitai painting and Sharon is behind him. They end up talking about the Garden of Eden and greed and how it corrupts people, and we then get a flashback to him and Ramil in the bed together. Petai and Ramil, not Sharon or Ramil, absolutely not. And Petai is confessing his love to him, and they're kissing. Sharon asks Petai, is something wrong? Especially after what happened to him at the Pachungpasit family. Y'all remember Prince Rachada beat the hell out of Petai for what Ramil did, and Sharon was there when it all happened. I'm happy these two are talking about it, and Petai says he really was concerned for Conan that day. You know, it makes you think, yeah, while the rest of the Pachungpasits might be fucking mad, at least, you know, Petai has a little bit of sense about him, maybe. A little bit of compassion. We'll see. Then we have Conan sneaking around the university to find Sharon, and then he shows up to Sharon's classroom, and then once Sharon was like, oh, like, what is that? He runs out of the room, but guess what? Sharon catches up to him, and he's like, why are you here? He makes Shakri come up with some bullshit excuse. Of course, Sharon doesn't believe it. So when Shakri and Sharon are alone, Conan is like, why aren't you at the palace with me? Be in my guard. I command you to come back. Sharon is like, the king told me to watch over a different prince, Kelvin. That is when Kelvin and Jay walked in. They saw Sharon and Conan together, talking, whispering, doing all that stuff. So now 3 people saw them together at the school at this point. Most likely it's going to spark more rumors, probably. And let's not forget about the social media page that's still going on, that's shipping Conan and Sharon together. So Sharon is like, look, I have class. Let's talk about this later. Conan is clearly pissy about it. Like, he is so mad. Attitude and everything. Sharon is supposed to be his man. Why is he talking to all his other students? Also, as Sharon was walking out, Conan was sulking. And he tells Conan to keep Prince Kelvin's identity on the low, because nobody is supposed to know that Prince Kelvin is there. Girl, so Conan and Shakri ends up in Sharon's art class, and clearly Conan gives 0 fucks about learning about how to draw, because the apple that he draws, everybody else's apple looks perfectly fine. The apple that Conan draws is so bad. In front of the whole class, Conan said to Sharon, come back to the palace with me. Sharon said, no, in front of the whole class. I have to teach my students. You're going to disobey me? Everyone in the class got quiet and just was listening. Then Conan stormed out. And he was very surprised when Sharon did not follow. Boy, your grandpa's word holds more weight than yours. You just this little prince who just showed up and now you're trying to call the shots? No, sir. Sharon has to listen to your grandfather. When Sharon is at home painting that same apple, he keeps on thinking about Conan. Yo, they cannot get enough of each other. They stay on each other's mind. So, and this scene makes me cringe. While Sharon and Petai are in the art classroom, Ramil walks like he storms in. And he is like super possessive and super mean. He pulls Petai out of the school and into the car. Ramil was mad that Sharon and Petai, were together and Petai was studying art. Like, Petai, how dare you study art with an S for dividend? So they were getting into the car, and then Ramil makes him put on a collar, like a leash. And Petai hands the other end of the leash to Ramil. And he's like, I'm yours to command. What the fuck? I don't like this type of relationship. This is a borderline abuse. Oh, not borderline. It is abusive. And I am just so not comfortable with it. And Ramil snatches up the leash, and Petai looks so scared to kiss him. This all stems from Ramil's father. Okay, he sucks ass. And he rules his family with abuse. The Pachungpasit family, they hit, they belittle, they use force to control people, and Ramil learned all of this stuff from his pappy. I hope Petai stands up for himself and eventually leaves, like, soon. I would not even mind if he leaves Ramil, and yeah, Ramil could redeem himself, I guess, later on, or Petai could get him a new man. I'm just saying, there's options. Then Prince Rachada threatens Ramil, telling him that he needs to focus unless he will deal with Ramil's toy, i.e. Petai. Rachada is always taking shit out on Petai. Like, stop. Screw this. I can't stand this family. Screw this family. So Ramil, one of the evils of the show besides the mysterious person who is still trying to kill Conan, takes his fencing coach. He steals basically Kanan's new fencing coach and he uses it as his own, on purpose most likely. But the next day after he sees Sharon at the palace, Kanan asks his grandpa to let Sharon continue to be his fencing coach. They both know how his grandfather feels about the relationship. Well, it's not a relationship. They know how his grandpa feels about those two being together. However, the king allowed Sharon to do it, and Sharon himself was worried about Kanan going against the king. But when Sharon is home thinking about Kanan and how he stood up to his grandfather and told him he wanted someone who understands him and who knows him to be his coach, he was smiling. Like, did he know he was that important to Kanan? That first kiss while playing that Taki game must be correct. These two are just falling all over each other and falling hard, like hit the floor hard, like not even carpet. The prophecy must be true, guys. Sharon told his butler to let the school know that he is not coming back until after the royal competition. Even the butler saw him cheesing. Okay, cheesing hard. So when do we ever see Sharon smiling that much? Another update on Kanan's fake father that deny he is alive, and Vidish, that is Sharon's friend, sent Sharon a picture of him in Thailand. What is he up to? The next day, Kanan starts his training with Sharon, and when I tell you Sharon does not take it easy on Kanan at all, but Kanan is more concerned with getting Sharon's attention in a romantic way, faking that he is hurt, trying to get Shakari away so him and Sharon could have a little alone time. Also, Sharon could take care of him and tend to his needs. So he's trying to, get the princess treatment when he really needs to be concentrating. He loves the attention from Sharon. So Kanan is with the shits until he actually gets hurt for real. And that is how the episode ends. So I am at the point, I'm ready for more romance between these two. I know circumstances, always circumstances, are keeping them apart. But now they have some time to be together, maybe. Is Sharon going to take care of him? Even though they have to train for real. Also, how will Ramil and Paitai end? And will we ever get justice for Paitai against Rachada? And when will Detanai show back up and get his child? There's so many things going on right now. Please, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Until next time.